My name is Caleb.
I'm Avery, and I'm in 7th grade.
And we are part of the Great Hearts Online community. So we wanted to just let you know a little bit about our experience so far. This is our second year. Avery started with Great Hearts Online in 6th grade. We started homeschooling due to the pandemic, like a lot of families did. Her first year of homeschooling, we had a different online program. There was things about that that weren't quite what we were hoping for. So when we found Great Hearts Online, we were really excited. And it's been great so far. Last year, we were so impressed with the teaching, the curriculum, the amount of help that was given to Avery during the year, just her growth as a student and what she was learning. All of that was super impressive. We really have enjoyed just the communication with the school. We feel like we're in an in-person school. So there's not, the difference is that she's doing this online from 8 a.m. till 12 is when her classes are, but then she's able to be home and have that time to work at her own pace and do her own independent study with it. But we have always felt like we're included and we're part of a school, that we're not on our own, that we're not just trying to homeschool by ourselves, which would have been really daunting. So those are the parts that we've enjoyed so far.
Yeah, a couple of other things that really drew us to Great Hearts while we were evaluating other online options for Avery. We really loved the student to teacher ratios. We also really love the fact that it's a true virtual classroom experience. And by that I mean, it's not just a teacher signing on for 3 to 5 minutes, giving assignments, and then the kids are just left on their own for the balance of the class period. It's actual online instruction for the entire allotted time for the classroom. So we really liked that. The homework as well is, I feel like, and we feel like, is engaging. It really grows and stretches her critical thinking, and not just busy work, not just filling in homework just to have homework, but it really serves the overall curriculum and is relevant to what they're studying at the time.
Avery, what have you liked about Great Hearts Online?
I really liked how much support the teachers offer. They're always suggesting that we come to office hours if we have any questions about the material that we're learning. And they're always there if we have any questions and inviting us to stay after class, so I really liked that.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here today. My name is Jamee Twardeck, and I'm the headmaster of Great Hearts Online Arizona. And this is an info session. So I hope that you leave today with all the information you need to make a very well-educated decision about moving forward with Great Hearts Online. So we are a classical liberal arts school, and that means we study the classics. We learn in a very classical method. Our students, they study great works of art, great pieces of literature, and that is how they learn to write well and how they learn to become great artists and musicians. And the liberal arts part of our curriculum is that we offer a very broad curriculum so that students learn a little bit about everything, and they leave our school well equipped for really any way they want to continue and for any career if they go through to 12th grade. So we don't specialize a lot, but we give students the very strong foundation that they need to learn on their own and to be successful in their community. So part of that classical education is that we teach in a Socratic method. And that means that we bring the kids into discussion, and they're very much a part of their learning, and they own their own learning. So we discuss the why behind what they're learning. And they're not just taking in the information, but they're actually working with the information and doing a lot of experiments and noticing things on their own about why a plant might be growing better over by the window than it is over in a dark corner. So we ask the students to notice things and to pay attention. And we want them to have a very deep sense of inquiry and wonder. We want them to be curious and joyful in their learning process, and realize that it is a lifelong journey of learning. It is not just the hours that they're in school. So that's a little bit about who we are. We have a few different models in how our students learn. One of them is a live model, and that means students come to classes anywhere between 2 hours a day and 4 hours a day, and they are with the classroom live in Zoom sessions. And they're learning, they're discussing, they're doing different experiments, and they're hands-on, and they're talking to their teacher, they're asking questions. So that is 2 to 4 hours a day, and then the rest of the day they're really learning independently. So they're practicing what they have learned in lifetime. And our other model, our second model, is a flex model. So these students are really learning more on their own. So they're watching videos that were recorded in our lifetime classes, and they're presented with materials from the teacher. And this is for students who might travel a lot or participate in high-level sports where they really need a more flexible learning day. And so we have these two different models so that whatever your family needs, you can do school at home in a way that best suits your family. Some of the really fun things that we've seen is when in both models, our students and their families, their parents and their siblings can all do the PE lesson together. They can enjoy an art lesson all together. So what I really love about our program is that it does build stronger families. And our families have attested to that. So we love that about the program. We love that families who would like a Great Hearts education, who might live an hour or more away from an actual campus. So you might live in northern Arizona or in southern Arizona, and the Phoenix Valley might be too far away. Then there is this opportunity where your children can take part in a Great Hearts education and enjoy that richness from afar. So a little bit about our mission is that what we believe is that we want to our students to pursue truth, goodness, and beauty, sorry. And we aid them in that pursuit. So in every classroom, it's about that pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty, whether it be science class or math class or an art class. We're thinking about that and challenging students in that way to not only grow academically and in knowledge, but also to grow in virtue. So that virtue development is very important in our classes. And we are ready to, if students are in a disagreement and they're not disagreeing in the most kind way, then we stop and we teach them how to respectfully disagree with their classmate, and how to be kind, and how to be a good friend, and how to talk about things that you might have different opinions about, and do it in such a way that really honors the other person. So we want our students to be able to come out of school with those skills, as well as just knowing what they need to know, the knowledge, as far as getting filled up, but also being able to use those skills in conversation and in life. So we would also really love for you to hear from some of the other folks that work at our school, some of our deans. So I am going to introduce you to one of our deans. She's a second and third grade dean, but then she will be speaking with our kinder and first grade dean. And then after that, we have a kindergarten family that attends Great Hearts Online, amazing family who is part of the Flex model. So I talked about those two, live model and Flex model. So they are a part of that Flex model and are going to be able to share a little of their experience with you. And then we have our special education dean, who is going to come, Ms. Bernstein, and she's going to share a little bit with you about all of the student supports that we have in place. So we have intervention and a special education program, and I will let her go into the details about that, but we have a very rich program. in addition to having a technology team and a learning design team. And they will not be here today to talk to you, but I just want you to know that there are these other teams that all work together to make our school a full offering for you all and a good experience. And then after Ms. Bernstein comes on, we are going to have enrollment. If you have any enrollment questions at all, those will get answered by Ms. Reynolds. So we have a few people in line here, and I would like to start by welcoming Mrs. Carrie Godwin, our second and third grade dean. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, everybody. Hello, it's so nice to be here.
We're so glad you're with us today. I have a few questions for you, just so that our folks out there can get to know us a little bit and learn a little bit more about our school. So, how does classical curriculum come to life in a virtual setting? What is your experience?
I think the number one way that it comes to life is through the love of our wonderful teachers. They are so committed to our children and our families and to the curriculum that they teach. So at Great Hearts Online, we seek to teach to the whole child, as Ms. Twardeck was saying, which means that we think about what a child thinks, feels, wants. So they speak to the child's senses. They speak to their sense of wonder. They ask them questions and get them involved. They read our classical stories out loud. They do hands-on science experiments. And just the fact that they have such a love for the children and the families and the learning brings the curriculum to life for everybody.
Thank you, Carrie. And what would you say are some of the teaching methods and tools that help keep our students engaged and interested in learning?
So our teachers often start with a shared experience or something that is really interesting and enriching to the student, so that the student starts from a place of curiosity. So rather than sort of feeding a child answers, we seek to have the child want to answer the questions that the teacher is providing. So they might start off with a hands-on experiment. They might start off by reading a classic together. They might start off by listening to some classical music that goes along with the story that they're going to read today. And those little bits of interest, maybe even listening to the train sounds that are going to be taking place when we learn about science, right? Those little bits of interest make it so that the students spark curiosity in their minds, and they start to bring in pieces of the outside world to this specific learning and lesson at hand.
I love that. I think I've seen that too, just that safety that's created in the classroom that allows that relationship to develop between the teacher and the student to where the curiosity can really bloom. So thank you for explaining that so well. Last question for you is, what is it about Great Hearts Online that was the biggest surprise for you?
The biggest surprise for me was how rich the community is. I think that the perception might be that when you're in your own home and you're on a computer, there's something that feels cold about it or separated. And it's actually the opposite. We invite people into our homes. You can see my home behind me. And I see all of the families' homes and the parents and the other children. And in that way, we really build this community that's full of trust and full of understanding. And we want to be there for one another. And so I actually find that I get to know families even better online than I did in person. And so I think the community that's been built has been the biggest surprise to me, and also the most wonderful and enriching surprise.
I love that. Thank you. Yes, the community is such an important thing, especially in a virtual environment. And I've seen your teachers build that too. And I just love that. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Godwin. I really appreciate you being here today and answering questions and just sharing a little bit about who we are with our interested families out there. Thank you.
Of course, and thank you so much for joining us today. So now I'd like to introduce our kindergarten and first grade dean, Lisa Swanson.
Hi, Carrie. It's so nice to be here.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. So, Lisa, we already talked a little bit about the flexible versus live models. So, I'm going to dive right into the live model with you. So, can you tell me a little bit about what the classroom environment looks like in our early years, in our kindergarten and first classrooms?
Sure, I'd love to. This is something that really surprised me coming online from brick and mortar. The young classrooms really feel warm and welcoming, just like they do at brick and mortar. The teacher is on the Zoom screen when he or she lets the scholars in each session and just welcomes them with a warm hello. They start off the day with some kind of community building, like calendar time and talking about the weather and maybe what they did over the weekend, just to have that conversation and get to know one another. And then they still get the live instruction as they would at brick and mortar in all the subjects. So they go through language arts, they have their Spalding and math, and they have instruction in history and science. And they practice together and they have discussions together. And it is a very hands-on interactive experience.
Thank you. So, one of the things that I talked about and that I heard you touch on a little bit just now is the relationship between the teachers and the scholars. So, how do you see that relationship forming online? And moreover, how do you see it forming within the whole community?
Sure. So it forms online just through that lifetime interaction. The teacher encourages every scholar to be attentive when their classmates are sharing, to be respectful of the comments and the participation that they make in class, and to really listen to one another. Community is built even outside that lifetime learning time. A lot of our teachers have lunch bunches where they gather together and they get to just be and talk and learn and grow together.
I love going to those lunch bunch times. They're so much fun. It's so nice to see the kids interact with each other and hear the funny stories they tell and the games they play.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
So I talked about one of the things that was most surprising to me. What was most surprising to you?
I think so. I've taught at brick and mortar for a very long time, and I was super skeptical of how this works online, especially with our little ones. And I feel like the tool that allows online learning to feel like you're in person is the dot cam. So all of our scholars are sent a dot cam, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You plug it in. It's a camera that you plug into your scholar's computer. And so when they are, say, in a Spalding lesson and the teacher is instructing brand new kindergartners who many of them have never had formal school experience before, and they're teaching them how to hold a pencil and to cut and to write and all those things, the camera is turned on during certain pieces of the lifetime learning, and the teacher can see exactly what the scholar is working on. So a scholar may have their Spalding paper displayed under the dot cam, and the teacher can make corrections to how they're holding the pencil, or when they're talking about letter formations, to start at 2 on the clock instead of on the baseline. So there, it makes it real, and it really takes place of a teacher in a classroom standing right next to the scholar at their desk, and they're able to have that exact same interaction.
I love that too. And I noticed that the teachers are actually able to respond to more scholars at the same time than they would be able to in a brick and mortar, because they can see every student's dot cam on a screen at once. Whereas when you're in the classroom, you see the child in front of you, or maybe the 4 people seated near you. So in that way, I feel like we're actually able to give feedback in real time to more students at once. So I love that. Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa.
Yeah.
It was wonderful to have you and have
Thank
your
you.
insights. So now I'd like to introduce a kindergarten family. They are actually part of our flexible model. This is the Bosques. Hello, thank you for coming.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Of course. So Zoe is in kindergarten, and this is her mother, Kim. Zoe, I would like to know, what is your favorite subject in school?
Spalding and art.
Oh, Spalding and art. Thank you so much for sharing. So Zoe, Spalding is actually something that's unique to Great Hearts. So tell me, what does Spalding teach you?
I don't know.
Remember, you have
What
to
do you
remember.
learn in Spalding? Are you learning
Learning.
numbers or letters? What are you learning? Are you learning your phonograms in Spalding?
Yeah.
Yeah, Spalding is the subject that teaches our students how to spell and how to read and all about the language, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so are you learning how to spell with Spalding?
Yeah.
And what do you like about Spalding? What's your favorite thing?
I don't know.
Well, I heard you say that you also like art. So do you like doing the handwriting portion of Spalding?
Oh yeah, baby.
I could see that. Thank you for sharing. So Zoe, do you have some work that you would like to show me? Do you maybe have an example of your Spalding that you could show me?
Oh yeah, baby.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, she wants to see your Spalding. Go ahead and show her.
That's really beautiful, Zoe. That looks like you worked really hard on that. Thank you for sharing. I also heard you say that you love art. Do you have any artwork that you'd like to show us today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Tell me you.
Watercolors.
These are my watercolors.
You did a lot of, did you do that with watercolors?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell that you put a lot of hard work into that. Did it take you a long time?
Yeah.
That's really wonderful, Zoe. I love to see students working hard, and especially when they like it so much. Zoe, I heard that you, oh, go ahead.
I learned the colors right now.
You learned the colors right now? Is that what you said?
No, I said I will learn the colors right now.
Oh, good. Thank you for sharing. Zoe, I heard that you also memorized a poem. Is that right?
Did you memorize a poem?
Yep.
And I think we have a video of that poem to share with everyone today. Do you remember the title of your poem?
Yes.
What is it?
Jack Sprat. I thought I know.
Thank you.
Jack Sprat could eat no fat. His wife could eat no lead. And between them both so see, they look at the planet lead.
Good job.
That was so beautiful, Zoe. Zoe, did that poem take you a long time to memorize?
No.
No, it didn't. You just did it like that?
Yeah.
Did you think it was fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you, Zoe. Zoe, before I ask your mom questions, is there anything else you want to tell me about what you love about learning online?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. You like seeing your teachers and classmates on the videos? Seeing your teachers and classmates on the videos?
I love the lunch bunch.
And the lunch bunch. Everybody loves lunch bunch. It's so fun. Well, thank you for sharing, Zoe. I'm going to ask your mom some questions now. So, Kim, thank you so much for being with us today. It's so nice to hear from one of our families.
Thank you.
So you are in the flexible model. So can we start by just kind of telling me what a typical day or week in the flexible model consists of for your family?
Yeah, so we've actually shifted Zoe's school days. Instead of her starting on a Monday, we start her on a Tuesday. And this allows her to have access to the live videos from the previous day being uploaded. We're able to start those first thing in the morning, and she can run through those, at her own pace. and then move on to her independent learning afterwards. So we found that, instead of waiting Monday for the videos to upload, later on in the day, we switched her over, and it seems to be more effective because then she still has the rest of the day for, any extracurricular things and stuff like that. And, the reason we love the flex model is in the event that there's appointments or, we're traveling, which we do quite often, we're able to be very flexible in the way she's learning. She doesn't have to miss out on any classes, and we can resume right where we had left off.
I love that. I think it's really important for families to have time together, to enjoy each other and to travel and to seek that kind of commitment to one another. So one of the things that I heard you talking about is watching the recording. So for those families who are a little bit less familiar with our flexible model, we have our live classes in the morning. So the teachers are teaching to our live model students in the morning, and then they upload those recordings for our flexible model students to watch in the afternoons or even the next morning as they complete their independent practice. So do you and Zoe watch those recordings together? Does Zoe normally watch them alone, or do you watch them and then impart the information to Zoe on your own?
We actually watch them together. I feel like it's pretty important for us to be learning alongside Zoe. So that way, when we take on the teacher role during independent learning time, we have a good basis of what she has learned during those live sessions that she has watched. And so, in the event that she has questions or anything, we absolutely know what's going on and can help her and help navigate her education.
I love that. That's probably a nice bonding time for the two of you as well.
It is. And then little sister, she's only 2, but we can already see the things that she's learning because she likes to also sit in and watch as well.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
So what drew you to the flexible model?
We love traveling. We are on the go. I'm a nurse, and Dad, he works remote, and to have this flexibility is what really drew us. Had a little bit of hesitation at first, because this is obviously her first year of schooling. She didn't do any preschool or anything like that, so we were a little bit hesitant. But what drew us to Great Hearts, not only having that flexible model, but the fact that we had a structure, unlike traditional homeschooling where you kind of have to figure things out on your own. We felt very supported. Great Hearts provides a lot of resources for us. And so that's really what drew us to joining Great Hearts and using this flexible model.
Thank you so much for sharing. We're really lucky to have you with us.
Thank you. We love Great Hearts, huh, Zoe? Yeah.
Zoe, thank you for coming. It was wonderful to see you both today. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Amy Bernstein, who is our special education coordinator here at Great Hearts Online. Hi, Amy.
Hi,
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here, Carrie. It's very nice to be online and a little hard to follow up Zoe, though.
I know. She's a tough act to follow. Did you bring any artwork for us today?
I don't think so. Well, I can show you my daughter's artwork, but I'm not going to show you mine.
Well, Amy, tell us a little bit about what special education looks like at Great Hearts Online.
So special education with Great Hearts Online is a lot like our brick and mortar schools. We have all the same services. It's just provided online. So we have the academic supports with our special education teachers, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, even social emotional support. So it is a lot of the same services, and except that it's just done on the computer. But the best part is that with some rare exceptions, our services are always provided outside that live learning time. So our students actually experience more time with their peers and their classmates in the general education classroom during that live learning time.
That's really wonderful. That's one of the things that I love most about seeing our special ed students online is that they are able to come to the classroom, interact with their peers, interact with their teachers, and still receive everything that they need outside of that time. It makes it feel a lot more like we're the big community that we are.
Right. And I really think that creates that sense of community even for them, because then they can develop relationships with their peers and with their teachers a lot more than in sometimes in that setting in the brick and mortar where they get pulled out from some of those classes. So yeah, it's one of my favorite things about our online ES special ed services.
So tell us a little bit about your role and what a parent or family can do as they're coming online to either seek out a special education program or to enforce a special education program that they've already started at a different school.
Well, as the special education academy lead and like the student support services dean, so my role is really kind of managing those records, helping support the teachers and our interventionists. I do a lot of record and report writing and record keeping, but if a parent comes to us and their child already is on an IEP, then they are welcome to provide that when they do their registration. And then we will also get all the formal records from the previous school. And then our special education teachers will reach out to them and they'll work out scheduling and get them the Zoom links and get them all set up before that first day that they have to attend. And then if a child doesn't have an IEP, but they've been concerned for some time, I highly recommend that they reach out to the child's teacher, because that teacher is going to have connections with our intervention programs. And that's the other thing I really love about Great Hearts Online is we have reading interventions, math interventions, writing interventions. There's a lot of support that goes on to make sure that we're meeting every child's need. And then we can kind of collect that data. If there's really a need there, then we can refer for evaluation. The best thing a parent can do when they've got concerns is start with their child's teacher.
I love that. And I know that our teachers are always really excited to talk to parents about the needs of every child. And they're very knowledgeable as they get to know these students. So I heard, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. And then you also provide that support with the student success workshops, which I think is also an important part of our support services, because it really helps not only the student, but the families understand how they can support their child in the online environment.
Thank you for saying that. I love doing those workshops. So I'm also a secondary role that I have at Great Hearts Online is the student success coach. So that means that I give student success workshops to families once a month where we just talk about being committed to the whole child. We talk about daily structure, building independence, how to do love and logic online, all kinds of different things. So that to me has brought so much joy this year. So thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. So one of the things that I heard you say was the term IEP. And I just really briefly would love to hear what that is. What is that, an acronym?
It's an acronym for an individualized education program. And it's a large document that just details out what the child needs, what their strengths are and what they need, what kind of goals they're working on, what their services will be, any accommodations they might need in the classroom. And it's a very lovely document that's shared with the teachers, so everybody knows what that child needs when they come into the general education setting, and then it explains what they're working on when they come to their services, with whether it's the speech therapist or with the special education teacher.
Thank you for sharing that. So Lisa Swanson and I both talked about what surprised us about coming online. What surprised you?
I was really surprised by how wonderful how wonderful it is with the special education program online. There's always that concern with the disconnect because you're doing it online, but in the online setting, we can partner with the parents more, right? They're not just coming once a year to that IEP meeting. They are there during the services. And if they need to ask questions of the different therapists, they're right there and they can answer those questions, even though that's not the point of the service time and you don't want to interfere with the service time, but they can partner together. And we've had some remarkable success. And it's also and I'm going to go back to allowing our students to attend all the live learning and providing the services outside of that, I think really creates more access to the general education, to having more relationships with their peers, and more access to the rigor in our curriculum, and so that we're not watering it down for anybody. So it's very exciting to see how successful we can be with our special education program in Great Hearts Online.
Thank you, Amy. And I know the love and care and knowledge that you bring to the program and the role is what makes it so wonderful. So thank you for all that you do for us.
Well, I thank you. And I also think that the love and the care that our special education teachers and our service providers also help really foster the growth in our children too. So thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming. So next I would like to introduce Althea Reynolds, and she's here to talk to you about joining Great Hearts Online.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hi, Althea. Thank you so much for coming today. So, Althea, how do families join Great Hearts Online?
So ultimately, the process is made so it'll be seamless and easy. You're going to enroll at greatheartsschoolaccess.com. Once your application is completed, you will then provide some documents. Those documents consist of birth certificates, proof of residency, your state ID, IEP or 504 plan if applicable, withdrawal from current school if applicable, and if there are any court custody paperwork, all that will be sent over to me. Once I verify your information, I process your application and I get your student enrolled to start with Great Hearts Online.
Beautiful. And in case you are looking at this list and thinking, where can I find all of that information afterwards? You can also visit our website, which is greatheartsonline.org. And all of this is on there as well. So Althea, what are some of the common questions and answers that you receive from families seeking information about Great Hearts Online and enrollment?
So I would say probably some of the most common questions centralize around, do my students still have to wear uniforms? Yes, your child is still required to wear a uniform. Uniform consists of a white or light blue polo shirt with our Great Hearts Online logo on the shirt, which is provided to you by our student success kits, which is another thing too that parents do ask about. And a student success kit is created to make a child's environment on the online portion to be a lot easier and seamless. And so I do get questions in reference to student success kits as well.
Thank you. So the Student Success Kit, just for those of you who don't know, is a kit that's sent to you by Great Hearts Online that has most of everything that you would need in order to have your child join our school. There is also a list of school supplies that you would get on your own, and that's really similar to what you would do in a brick and mortar building. So Althea, right now we have K through 8th grade, so kindergarten through 8th grade, but next year we're starting something exciting. Would you like to talk to everyone about that?
So yes, we are extremely excited to announce that next year we will be opening it up for high school. We are starting with 9th grade, and every year after that, we intend to add an additional grade. Open enrollment will start for us on Monday, November the 7th, and your first offers will be made Wednesday, January 18th. So we are super excited that we are opening Great Hearts Online to high school as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And if you are seeking to enroll your child at Great Hearts Online currently, we have openings in kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. And we can get you in as soon as the following week, so long as we receive all of your paperwork by Wednesdays at noon. So our registrar and Althea are happy to speak to you about all of that as you're starting to enroll. Please feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to have you join.
Yes,
Althea, is there anything else that you feel families would like to know before they start online? Any common questions that you receive?
It's definitely, I mean, for most parents, it's more so which program that they should go into. Right now, I do receive both for live and the flexible model. So it's kind of nice. It just kind of depends on the kind of schedule that you're looking for, kind of like Ms. Del Bosque related to stating that the flexible model does work better for her. Also have questions on what separates us from other charter schools. We're awesome. Everything about Great Hearts Online is awesome. The teachers, the staff, we're just a family in itself. So we enjoy that aspect of the school, and it just makes us a great place for your child to be enrolled at.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today and for answering all of the questions. And Althea and I can't wait to talk to you about joining Great Hearts Online. So please feel free to reach out. And next up, I'd like to introduce Heidi Vasiloff. She is our Executive Director. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, thank you so much. Dean Godwin, I am delighted in this space, the conversation, the engagement, and I'm telling you, Ms. Reynolds, I'm ready to sign up. She needs to be promoting us even more. Yes, we love Great Hearts Online. We absolutely love it.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I guess what I would like to say is we are so grateful that you've joined us, that you've had interest in this program. We're deeply committed to the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. We think that we are helping scholars and families engage in that rich curriculum that Great Hearts brings to the table, but in your own way, in your own home, in 2 different models. And so if you're curious or want more information, please reach out to us. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. You've gotten to meet a great group of people that have been able to provide you with information in all kinds of areas. So reach out, ask questions, let us know what you're thinking, and we hope to see you soon online.
Thank you for joining us today, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day.